What's going on, guys? Everett13 here. It's early on Saturday morning. I'm going to try to knock out a quick little update video because I recently picked up a new Microtech stitch, manual stitch, and noticed one major change to it. But I kind of thought it was interesting, something that was definitely worth pointing out to you guys, and that was the pocket clip. On the previous video I did on the previous stitch I had, which was honestly not that long ago, like a month or two maybe, it was a tan-handled, a G10 tan or a FDE Coyote tan. I'm not sure what they call it. I think it was tan. But the pocket clip was different than it is on, I guess, the current generation, which just sounds funny to say because it really wasn't that long ago. Now, they could still be running batches of both. I'm really not sure, but suffice it to say, it's worth pointing out that there are there's a different pocket clip now on the stitches that are more of a deep carry style. Of course, you can see you still would have just a little bit hanging out. I think the older style kind of stopped around here. It still wasn't too bad, but this is definitely deeper, gonna carry deeper in the pocket for you guys who want something like that. To me, it's not that big of a deal. I thought the other one carried fine, but this one definitely does ride lower in the pocket. You've got less hanging out of the pocket. Another thing that was kind of worth noting is the pocket clip shape is different. Also on this one, of course, it's just a straight, kind of a straight shot clip. On the other one, it was kind of a little bit wider and kind of followed the handle. It has slight curvature to it. So not good or bad, just a preference thing. Some guys, really like the pocket clips like this. Other guys don't really care too much. Of course, also, you now have the option to reverse the pocket clip. So for some of you people who are lefties or just like to carry it, on the other side, here is a good little option for you to be able to swap that around. Of course, other than that, there's no changes that I can tell to the knife. Of course, it's still sporting the Ram-Lok. One thing I did notice on this one was the blade does drop free whenever you engage or disengage rather this locking mechanism. On that tan one that I had, and it could have just been that it needed to be broken in. It could have just been that the pivot was a little bit tighter on that one. I really didn't mess with it a whole lot. But whenever I would disengage, or pull back the tabs here, it would just kind of sit for just a second, right there until I kind of shook it loose a little bit. So I made a comment in that previous video that, it wasn't drop close whenever you disengage the tab. So that wasn't necessarily true. It was kind of a drop free once you shook it, but I just felt like that was something that needed to be corrected because it does absolutely drop closed whenever you do that. Whenever you disengage those tabs rather. So guys, yeah, just a kind of quick little update on the current gen. Current gen sounds funny to say, because that other one was only just a few weeks ago or a month ago or so, but they have made a few tweaks, and that's good to see, right? Anytime somebody is continually making minor changes, improvements here and there as they go, it's always something that you like to see. So yeah, now guys, if you haven't seen, I do have a video out on the Ram-Lok. I go a little more in depth on the Ram-Lok system. So yeah, go check that out. But real quick, for anybody who hasn't seen that, I will knock out a couple size comparisons. This is a full-size knife, what I like to consider a full-size knife. It's not, in my opinion, it's not overly big. Some people would consider this a large knife. It's not to me, but I tend to gravitate towards full-size knives, or what I like to call full-size knives. Knives like around the size of a paramilitary too, excuse me. So just keep in mind that is about what you're getting into whenever you get this knife. It's going to be about the size of a paramilitary 2, a PM2. So that's kind of a knife that a lot of people have experience with. So if that's something that is maybe too big for you, if you're kind of more in the pair of 3 size, preference, then that's something to consider. Of course, here I've got a large Nkosi, and on the bottom, I didn't mention that, but that is a large Nkosi as well. So yeah, good knife, a very good knife, of course, very attractive knife. I really do like the G10 frag scales that they've got on this. Really looks nice, and adds a little bit more grip too. That tan one, it looked good too, but the G10 was a little slick. So like I said, not good or bad. Some people prefer smooth handles, some people like a little bit of a grippier texture. So yeah, guys, Microtech Stitch, check it out. If you've been after one, or kind of been on the fence about one, I would say pick it up, especially if you like a knife this size, because it's honestly so good that I bought it twice. I do plan on keeping this one. But it was good enough that whenever they dropped, I said, man, I really kind of want one of these back in the collection. So yeah, guys, Microtech Stitch. Of course, there's kind of a little bit of the product info there. But yeah, check it out. Grab one. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I put videos out when I can. I'm not sponsored, and I don't have people, sending me knives for free to review. And I'm also not going to send out a review and post a video on every darn new, knife that Civivi or someone like that puts out. My videos come out a little bit slower because I'm spending, my real hard-earned money on these knives. And also because, like I said, I'm not gonna put out videos on every darn new $50 knife that hits the market. I'm just not gonna do that. The knives that I of course tend to review are typically a little bit more towards that $250 mark or more most of the time. So yeah, guys, as always, take care, stay sharp.